Thank you so much.
Well, I tell you, it's been fantastic. This has been fantastic. So
I'm just so happy to be here. And for people watching, just in case if you don't know yet, this is John Posey, and he's leaders, trainers,
preacher's trainer, we call
preacher
it.
trainers.
But I work with leaders and business leaders as well. But my specialty is preachers.
It's preacher. And one of the things really attract me to your organization and what you are doing. I was introduced by Brother Jimmy Lucas.
Yes.
And told me, you have to meet that guy. He's talking about technology and he's a preacher. So no, I got to meet him. Because that's been my concern for the last 10 years, 11 years since 2004, really to convey that message to preachers that using technology is not an option anymore, but it's an obligation.
It's not a cool thing to do.
Yeah, it's not only a cool thing to do, but it's a necessity.
It's absolutely
necessary for any ministry out there to be able to have access to media and be able to convey their message digitally. So can you, I mean, we talked about it before, I mean, we've been telling can you tell preachers that why they need a podcast, why they need to use video, why they need to use e-commerce, and why they cannot go to have a meeting on a weekly or monthly basis with just picture but no video, no media really to keep that message that they preach alive, and how they think that they're going to be able to reach a maximum of people if there's no media attachment to what they preach.
I'm gonna give you, pastor, a leader, set man, set woman. I'll give you some thoughts here. Number one, God did not expect us to come up to heaven to meet Him. He came down to meet us where we are, to take us where we need to be. We are trying to get people to come to the church in order to meet God through us. We got to be willing to go where the people are. So that's first of all. What would happen if God just waited for all us to come to Him? So
it never happened.
It never happened. Come on, man. What are you talking about? You know, here's the second thing. We got to decide, Darcy, are we going to be fishers of men or keepers of the aquarium?
Oh my God, can you repeat that?
Fishers of men or keepers of the aquarium. We have been keepers of the aquarium. Now here we are fishing, supposedly. We're really fishing in the bathtub. I call it fishing in the bathtub. So what we're saying, we're out on the shallow ground, on the shallow waters, trying to get the fish to come to the boat. So let's paint our boats, make it better, because hopefully they'll come up and jump into the boat, right? So then what ends up happening is that we're just watching, we're just keeping our fish. And we're counting our little fish, and then one fish jumps out of this bowl into another church's bowl, and then that fish jumps out of that bowl, so we're all just keeping our little fish.
Yes, it was sad. But what was the trigger? What makes you, because you're almost 20 years older than me. So I know it was a time, and you watched my keynote. I mean, you were there about 10 days ago. And can you now tell people what was the trigger for you? You said, you know what? Church, and first of all, we're not mocking the church. We're not saying like people do not go to church, but we're saying that we have to go outside the church. Keep having the church, but go outside the church to make sure that we're not so into that Wednesday, Sunday that we forget exactly what's going on the outside world.
As a preacher, I've been preaching since I was 15 years of age. Actually, my first sermon was December 31st, 1975.
Whoa, I was not even born.
So I've been preaching a long time. And when you preach, you have to, pray, you seek God, you get a word from the Lord. and you get your text and you start your study and you do all this thing. And it takes a really lot to really prepare a message because you really believe God's your oracle. You're speaking for God. The thing that I realize is, am I just speaking to the people that show up on Sunday morning? Is that what I did all that praying and study for? Because reality, some of those folks don't even show up. They don't tell you. It's like preparing a meal, and then they don't even come and show up. They don't even call and let you know they're not coming. So that's what the average preacher is dealing with that all the time. So the reality is that, is it just for those people that show up in your church building that Sunday morning? Or is that message, preacher, a global message? Is it for the world?
But like what I want to explain to people when we talk about global. I was born in Paris, France. I lived in 10 years in Central Africa, Gabon, where I'm also from. But hip-hop culture got to us before the gospel. So me decided to get a message from tdjakes. I got it from Tupac first. So I remember what happened to me when I came to the United States. I was so mad because to me, they just start preaching. And then when I did the research, I said, no, they start preaching in the 80s. I said, my God, well, I never heard about them.
Never heard about it.
Because it was not a priority for the gospel to go that fast, that out, because they never thought about it to make it become a culture. And today, somebody was...
And it shaped the minds of the people.
Exactly.
And that's why we're running around. We're fighting against the pants sagging and all this other stuff. Dude, it's too late.
That's it, because it's already ingrained in there. So what we have to do, Christianity needs to become a culture, but Christianity will not become a culture if we are not present in the marketplace.
Right. I came to Atlanta. I'm originally from Cincinnati, Ohio. I was in Tulsa for 7 years. I moved down here in 1990, actually 89, and then was here first of the year. And I stumbled into the Marriott Marquis downtown. And there they were having there was a company that was they were doing a PowerPoint presentation. Back in 99, it was really a state-of-the-art PowerPoint. I wasn't invited there. I just stumbled into the room, and it was dark, and I was over in a corner, like over in a corner, watching this amazing presentation. So Darcy, I started weeping. I wasn't weeping about the presentation. I was weeping, Darcy, because I was embarrassed as to how we were presenting the most powerful message in the world. And I'm telling you, in that little room, in that corner, I'm talking 1990, I prayed, tears streaming from my eyes, and I said, God, I don't know how. I made a vow. I said, God, I don't know how, but I am going to present your message with the most powerful technology on the planet.
Yes.
And so what has been my why is because of that vow I made to God.
Yes. Wow.
And I realized that if, in fact, not if, we have the most powerful message on the planet, it must be presented high quality, state-of-the-art, first Jesus class technology and presentation. So that captures a generation.
And that is not that expensive if you think about the price of a decent building. I did some research a few months ago, and I found out that like an average building for a church in Atlanta is about $275,000.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah,
that's correct.
Yeah, that's about right.
So that's for like between 50 and 100.
Especially the average church. The average church is 75 members.
Yes, exactly. So the amount of money that you're gonna get for a bank or however you're gonna finance your church building, you can take less than 10% and build a virtual digital studio, high quality, with the technology of today, and broadcast your message to the world. So I don't want to tell you that to not build a church if that's what God asked you to do. But while you're building the church, make sure that after you finish with the building, you have a broadcast unit so you can broadcast that message, and it can go beyond that 75 or whatever, 1 acre, whatever that you have size of a church. Technology is no limit, and you can be in the mind of everybody all the time worldwide.
I have the technology. I have one of the pieces is a mobile app, and Darcy, I have over 10 10,000, just passed this last week, 10,000 downloads
Wow.
of my mobile app. And literally thousands of people, not just in the States, but in 4 countries, all parts of Africa, Australia, Asia, Philippines, Germany, Europe. I mean, I can see, the Netherlands. I mean, I'm like, these are people, because it gives you a reading of when they download your app where they are. I don't know these folks, but they know the preacher's trainer because I'm broadcasting my message everywhere.
But what about if you said, you know what, God's gonna bring the people, and you stay in your building and you pray in tongues for people to come from
It's the same
direction,
thing.
and say like, no, I pray God's gonna bring the people.
And let me decorate this boat, because I know if I get that boat just looking good.
Good, and praying to God,
exactly.
people are gonna come because God bringing the people. But what you do not understand is that God gave the wisdom to some people to create the technology. So when they're gonna see or hear your message, they will come. It's still God. It doesn't mean that because you put a message on Facebook and Twitter, now it's not God. You use Twitter or Facebook. God gave a wisdom to those people to create Facebook and Twitter for us to use.
The way I say it this way, that's excellent. I say that when Paul and the early church preached the gospel, they used the Roman roads. Roman built those roads to dominate the world. All roads led to Rome. And the gospel was carried on the Roman roads that were built by Rome, but they carried the gospel. Today, the internet is the 21st century Roman road.
That's it.
It's it's the devil, and the 666. He peeps us in the net and block that, and all these different things, and that may be true. But the reality is that God, for this time, we can use this net, this internet. I was talking to a youth minister. He says, "I'm going to get all my young people off the internet." I'm like, "Are you serious?"
To protect them from what?
He lost his mind. Put some things on there, man. Put some stuff on there. But I just want to encourage you. Listen to this man. He has a tremendous heart and passion and pastor. We've all been burnt by knuckleheads. But I'm telling you, this man is here, and what he's offering is amazing. And I'm excited about partnering with him. And we're looking to bring digital evangelism to your church.
Yes, we will do that. So thank you so much. And can you just, give like one more advice before we go for a preacher to create some type of trigger in their mind to why technology is so important?
When my mother was growing up, she's 90 years old. That was in the 20s. Church attendance in America was 80%. Now, I know this is beyond our country, but I want to just talk about America for 80%. When I was growing up, church attendance was 41%. Right now, today, church attendance in America is 21%. If things continue as they are, this is reputable companies, the Barner Group and all that. Church attendance will be 11% in 15 to 20 years. Clearly, church going has been on decline. But everyone has a cell phone. Everyone has a mobile device. Billions of devices in use today. The number of devices have surpassed desktops long ago, over 2 years ago.
Yes.
So if people are walking around these cell phones, where do you think we should preach Christ? We should preach Christ to these mobile devices.
That's it.
Pastor, that's what you got to do. You got to change that old website that your nephew made you, you hadn't looked at in 5 years, and half your members don't even know what the website is. Okay, and by the way, if it's not mobile responsive, as no string, then it's not indexed properly. It's not being searched on a Google. Come on, it's not being searched. It's outdated. They're never going to find you. Let's get yourself updated and let's learn some technology.
And especially if give more stats, like there's 700 million websites. So you got 700 million chance for somebody to not find you So you have to be where people are. There's more than 1 billion active members on Facebook. The Snapchat is growing crazy. Instagram is next to Facebook, but it's owned by Facebook. YouTube is huge. Facebook video, I mean, just outgrowing YouTube views and organic reach. So all this type of
Explosion
technology-
over 50 at the time I was checking with me, over 50 billion mobile apps. Let me say this one thing about apps in this area. If you check the Bible app, it's called YouVersion, and you go to that page, .com, you'll see the amount of apps that are being downloaded every second. You can't pass out Bibles that fast. So that shows you the power of online communications and how it's changed.
Thank you so much for your time.
Okay.
It was so great.
Praise God.
I mean, I was waiting for this short interview for the time because I want a preacher. Because when I talk, I say, what is this young guy? What is
You just try to sell me.
Yeah, he tried to get some hip hop into us and something like that. So thank you so much. Bye, guys.
And remember, as we close out, the online giving is going through the roof. And so, you know what? It's not just about them putting offering in the plate, preacher. They want to give, and they want to give online.
Oh, yeah. But that's a whole other teaching. Okay, then. Bye, guys.